health update with Kyle and Serge to start?
Yeah, a little bit. I think Kyle's not going to be probably ready for this weekend, and Serge is questionable.
Probably
Yeah,
questionable. Is
questionable.
that a
I think.
status now?
Well, I think JQ will give you the official ones. I get them all confused anyway between questionable, probable,
Thank you.
all that stuff. But they're I would say Kyle's leaning down the not so favorable, and Serge is right in the middle.
Kyle, you didn't expect Kyle to be very long at all. What something changed in the interim, or is it?
Well, he's got the thigh contusion, and it's kind of leading to some other issues, I think, too, with maybe his some spasms here and there. So we're trying to navigate through that. He was again, it's a little bit like Norm a while back when thought he was making a bunch of improvement, and then all of a sudden there was a setback, and then it kind of that setback went away. So these things are tricky. They're tricky. Yep.
And your team seems to have a sense of calm about it. It doesn't panic when things get going bad in games. Where do you think that comes from?
Well, I always think that I mean we're trying to adopt that as a characteristic, Doug. I think as a whole, just the staff and the players, but all things that hit the floor, you always got to give credit to the players,
Yeah.
right? And I think we got some guys that are showing some leadership in those areas of just taking each moment as it comes, handling the highs and lows, and most importantly, Doug, probably playing each game through. Right, there's a lot of waves in these games sometimes, and you just gotta ride them high or low sometimes, and keep on playing.
Do you find yourself having to remind them of that during timeouts? Like, keep playing, stay the course.
Yeah.
We're still there. Is that how you get through to them? Keep
Yeah,
hammering
I
it?
think the one thing that one thing that I seem to say a lot is I'll be sitting there in the timeout and I'll say, well, it's not playing very well. Things aren't going very well. Ball's not bouncing our way very well, and it's a 5-6 point game. We're okay. Stay with it.
Coach, not to look past the next two games, but like how important, how much are you looking forward to like the holiday, considering how banged up you guys are?
Yeah, we are looking forward to it. I think any days we can have in between games is certainly needed right now. Look at all the other schedules. It just seems like we've been awfully busy. I don't know what everybody else is doing, but we seem like we've been awfully busy, and it's kind of taken a bit of a bite out of us a little bit. But again, we'll have at least 10, 11 guys suited, 12 guys suited up tomorrow. We got to roll with what we can, and talk about this before is we started developing some chemistry as that game went on last night, and sometimes that's what happens when you got a bunch of new people in new positions and different lineups going on.
Not sure how you break up the schedule, but this last stretch has been pretty tough. The 10 of the last 12 games against winning teams, some good wins, had some guys out. Do you learn more about your team, your guys during stretches like this?
Probably, Josh. Right? I think that makes, when you look at it in totality, it probably makes more sense that you can see the better teams and the better players, and it seems to put you in more coverages and just more situations in general, right? But again, one thing I think I've experienced so far in my early course of my first half here is that each game seems to present a lot of difficulties. Like, it just does. You go on the road or something, a team that's supposedly not very good, and they're ready to play the Toronto Raptors because we got the best record in the league, or every team in the West gets up to play us because we're the best record in the East and all that stuff. But so I like it. I think each game presents its challenges, and that's what we're here for, is to try and figure out those challenges.
The standings say there's more parity.
Hang on a second, Eric. Does anybody on this side want to ask any questions? No, I'm just kidding.
What did I do? You're next one?
I'm just pointing this
Bad-
way all
bad
day. I don't know.
spacing.
All everybody's over. Yeah.
Yeah,
Spacing.
that's
Yeah, we need better spacing. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Eric. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
There's more.
You know I love you, man.
Yeah, there's more parity this year. Does it feel like that on a day-to-day, and why do you think it?
It does feel like that. I think it feels like that every night. Even when we're not playing, I'm clicking around watching games, going, these games. Every game's going either direction. The Suns going to Boston last night. I mean, you can go on and on, right? Why is it? I think there's better players. There's a lot more better players up and down the league. Teams are deeper.
Do you think those better players come from more developmental coaching going on during the season?
I don't know. Maybe we're just in a hot streak of talent. Maybe it's coaching. Maybe it's player development. Maybe it's 12 months a year work everybody's doing now. Maybe it's the rules. Maybe a little bit of all that stuff. Maybe, I don't know.
Speaking of the rules,
Anybody on this side?
have you seen the inevitable clawback of the freedom of movement crackdown early in the year?
Maybe. Feels like it.
Well, yeah, everybody expected it would be hard at the start and then it would be eased off. And anecdotally, that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, and I just my only thoughts are this on it is it seems like it, and it just must be easier to ref the other way. I think that's their comfort level of they just don't like to call all this ticky-tacky, touchy stuff, and maybe that's the way the game's meant to be played, or it's been played pretty well that way for a long time, or I don't know. I think the biggest thing is we all know how difficult it is to ref, and that should be the goal, is to give them some guidelines that they can administer, and I think that's what they're trying to do, the owners and the committees and the people that are doing that are just trying to get some guidelines that can be enforceable, that everybody can understand.